So this is a Sleepwalker sketch card from Marvel. So Sleepwalker is this kind of odd character. Came up in Marvel Comics, I guess in the late 90s, maybe early 80s. After the fact, he kind of reminds me of Cad Bane from Star Wars. I know Cad Bane came much later. I'm just saying. So he's got this noseless face. Just appearance-wise, he reminds me of Cad Bane. I don't know if he's reptilian or what he is. I don't know what much of the backstory of this guy. I remember seeing him. This is a character suggested on a Facebook post by my cousin. I asked people for some offbeat Marvel characters that would be cool on a sketch card. So again, I'm just using 2H here. It's a lead holder. And then I'll switch over to 0.2 and kind of tighten up my pencils. And since I'm going to be inking this, I'm not going to go in and do like super finished rendered pencils for this. I think the coolest thing about this character was this hooded cloak, or purple hooded cloak. Very nifty looking. Have that overlap just a little bit. I don't like it. Barely sits on his eyelid there. So he's pretty cool looking. So I'm going to go in and start inking him. So I'm just using, here I'm using multi-liner SPs, which I often use for these sketch cards. They're markers, but they're nice markers. And if you use it and make real intentional marks with it, you can make some pretty nice looking marks with a marker. They don't have that blurry kind of dull thump to the end of it if you consciously pick up your stroke when you do it. So you kind of lift up at the end of your stroke so you don't get that, see, like that little dunk at the end there. So there's, see what I mean? So if you lift up, you don't get that. So I don't like that little blob at the end of a marker. So this is a 0.25. So it's certainly not the finest, it's about middle in terms of the markers for the, or the tips for the multi-liner SPs. So it looks pretty cool so far. Looking pretty good so far. So I think he's mostly done ink-wise. So if the light's coming this way, I'm just trying to imagine some cast shadows from some of this stuff around his face. It's one of the things my students don't always think about. Where are the shadows? Where's the light? So just try to put a sense of that in the inks. Looks pretty good. Let's get his teeth in here. Teeth. Teeth can be funky, but really fast with ugly teeth. Too much space between them, whatever the case may be. Alright, so I think I'm done with him for the inks. So I'm just gonna erase the pencil marks. Okay, let me look at his colors real fast. Green, purple, pretty much. No nose. No nosy at all. Okay. No nostrils, no nothing. Oh, let's get going on little Mr. Green guy. Let's see. I don't like that color. So for him, I think I'll just go with a standard. Got two greens, like mid to low tone greens. One's called sea green, which is more biased towards blue, and then one's called lime green, which is a warmer green, more yellow, I guess. So I'm going to go with sea green because I think that fits his character profile a little bit better, his color scheme. So there we go. And depending on what the surface is like. Some of these cards take these pictures better than other. So some of them can be real shitty, real poor quality paper, and the looks like my marker's getting ready to run out, but I'm almost good with it. So the marker, the Copic, whatever, that I'm using, sometimes the paper really affects the way it looks. So good paper, it absorbs it nice and evenly. Bad paper, it's mottled looking, all that stuff. So, so that's my sea green. I'm gonna go with a, I think a light lilac for his hood first. All right, so I'm just gonna go in. Just got them big set, so you can tell a lot of my markers are dry. So I'm just going to do the light areas. All right, that's good enough. All right, so I'm going to go in with lavender. For the midtones for the hood. Oops, overlapped his face a little bit. That's all right. I'll fix that later. So I work, as a lot of art mediums, you work light to dark. So you start with your lightest colors, work those in, and then go darker. All right, you can't go upwards. Once you've gone too dark, you can't undo it. It's hard. You got to cover it up, especially with markers. So it's always smart to work light to dark. Same as watercolor, pastel, color pencil, any of those. Work light to dark. All right, so I'll put some darks on this side. A little bit there. Again, I'm trying to keep my imaginary light source kind of in mind. So I'm thinking it's coming from this side. Up and down. Alright, then I'm going to go with a, for dark on skin tone, I think I'm going to do mistletoe. So again, it's a nice mid-tone dark. And this one again is more cool in terms of its color bias. I've got some more mid-tones that are more olivey in appearance, and that wouldn't work well with his. So you can see I'm trying to, again, keep in line with my imaginary light source, so the light is raking down across his face at an angle. Pick up a couple bits of highlight over here. Alright. Most of this under his chin is going to be dark. Maybe a little bit of highlight on that side. Alright. Come over here. A little bit shadow in from the hood. side of the face is going to be in, and the highlight. Get off screen. And cat shadow from the hood. I'll just knock that all the way back down. Okay, seems pretty cool. Let me see what color his eyes are real fast. Red? Yeah, red. Red. So I'm going to go with Bougainvillea. I love Bougainvillea as a color. The Copic Bougainvillea. It's a nice pink. Nice vibrant pink. It's not too orange. It's not too magenta. It's just in the middle. So I like using it a lot. I use it on faces, nostrils, lips, ears, ear holes, to add a little bit of pink, if it's strong pink. And then for darker, I'm going to go with Dog Rose Flower, which I think is an awful weird name for a color. Is there a dog rose? I don't know. It's something I'd have to ask somebody that knows more about roses than I do. So you can see I've covered up most of that bougainvillea. Alright, and then I might go in even with a darker. Get a real sense of some shadow there, maybe. Where'd my lavender marker go? I lost my lavender marker. It's disappeared on me. That happens a lot. I'll just have to do without it. And blue. The shirt's just blue. I've done it so under here, just a little bit of blue underneath the hood. Alright. Now, teeth. I'm thinking this guy's got not super clean. I don't think he's probably whitening his teeth. So, I'm going to go with a milky white. This came in the flesh color pack. I bought them for doing portraits or flesh tones. So it's a nice light, not really orange, de-intensified light orange, pinky realm. So just enough to give him a little color in his teethies. And then I'm going to go with a little darker, grayer brown. This one's called sand white. So again, trying to keep in mind my light source. So these teeth on this side, that shadow's gonna creep around a little more. Right. I like doing this. In class, students talk back. When I make these videos, nobody can talk back until they just leave a comment. So there you go. He's pretty close. Pretty close to being done. Where's my highlight? If you want to blend these colors in together, just go back with your light color and go back over. I mean, they make blenders, but if you're already set up like a color scheme, you've got a light tone, a mid-tone, and a dark. All right, so you lay down your light foundation first. Right, lay down your light foundation first. You do your mid-tones, your darks, and then if you want to blend any of it, you just go back over it with a light tone. And that blends a little bit of it. Depending on the paper quality, you can sometimes it blends a little better than others. So there we go. Looks pretty good. Quick little card. All right. And don't ever be afraid. So you know these are complements. You know red and green are complements. Don't be afraid to mix them. The green will be nice in the red shadows whenever you're doing like a red object. So don't be afraid to mix those guys in. All right, the green will pop in there, sit quite nicely in the shadows. Okay. There we go. See anything else I want to do? I'm gonna go in with this color is called Champagne. I was in Jerry's Artorama in Virginia Beach. I was down there with my kids for a swim meet, and I popped in just to kill some time, look around at the art supplies. And one of the people working there was talking to him about Copics, and asked them, and if looking to pick up some odd colors today, something I don't have maybe. And I said, what color do you like to use a lot of? She said, Champagne. I picked it up and I love it. It's a nice darker mid-tone for skin tones. It's a little purple, but still got enough of the flesh tone in it to make it look natural. You pop it in almost on any face and some of the shadows, and it works really good. So thank you, lady, Virginia Beach, Jerry's Artorama, for your suggestion. And I think he's done. So this is it's a funky little Copic pen. I picked up a couple of these. I used them a little bit and then I laid them back down. I picked them up again. The only problem I had with these is the finer point of this was drying out or something, so I didn't like how it was feeling, but this one works really well. So other than that, maybe a little highlight in the eyes. Okay. That's just everybody uses these Signo Uniball white ink pens. Guy at a Comic-Con lent me his one time. They work well for little highlights in the eyes like that. A little white color pencil, never hurt anybody. Alright, pop a little on the lip, maybe on the chin, maybe running down this ridge of his nose. Alright, there you go, Sleepwalker. Thanks.